Welcome back to the Boulder Giants video log. Now, I've never done this on camera, and I've also never done it without alcohol, so let's see how this works. I need a moment of silence for my Giants. Even with that, I can't stop crying. It's time to talk about McAdoo. Because you act a fool, it's time to step aside and let Spags to rule. All right, now let's talk about Tampa Bay. The positives, 36-year-old Eli Manning. I keep hearing from everybody, he's done, he's washed up, stick a fork in him. He was amazing. I'm sorry, I didn't know if anybody else saw this, but he had great footwork in the pocket. I know he's only 30 for 45, but he had 5 drop passes, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rumbling touchdown on the ground, which was his longest of his career. Also, let's talk about Wayne Gallman. First of all, welcome to the team. Happy birthday, getting a touchdown on your birthday. That's awesome. First game, he got pulled up. He got called up just before the game last week. 3.8 yards per carry. He also had a great block on that Rhett Ellison touchdown. O-line has been totally shaken up with injuries, but played serviceably. DJ Fluker actually may have been a great pickup if they let him play. Pugh looks great, at right tackle, so maybe that's a new spot for him, even though he's played his whole career and always has been practicing on the left side. First game where the offense played more downs than the defense, 80 to 64 respectively. Good job, guys. Also, Odell Beckham, for all his antics, this guy's a man's man. Ankle injury is clearly still affecting him, and he's playing through it. Dislocated finger, and I don't encourage you to look it on the internet, but it's pretty gruesome. But even with that, he still caught 5 passes after. He deserves the Iron Man award this season. No question about it. And I may criticize him a lot because of all of his antics, but I think it's because he loves this game as much as I love this team. All right? And I got to give it up to Damon Harrison, Snacks. He's still a huge part of that D up front. Negatives. Okay, we got to get here. We got to go there. No pressure. It's non-existent. He's got all day. Everybody's got all day to throw the ball. JPP was a complete non-factor. Ryan during the game even was like, is JPP playing? Olivier Vernon, I know he was out for most of the game, but they got to get some pressure. 5 plays for over 30 yards. That is unacceptable. Missed tackles everywhere. Tackle, fellas. This is one of the most important things that needs to be corrected. I'm going to say it again. Tackle, fellas. All right. Eli Apple. He's just getting picked on in every game. I know you don't want to throw it over Jackrabbit, and he's the fall guy, but he's our 3rd best cover corner, and we're putting him on Mike Evans to start the game. That was just plain foolish. Come on, Spags. All right. Still can't defend the tight end position. This has been a problem all season. O.J. Howard, as I said last week, we have to watch for him. 4 catches, 80 yards, and a 58-yard touchdown. Also, Cameron got a TD as well. Through 4 games, the Giants have allowed the 2nd most receptions at 29, 2nd most yards to tight ends at 309, and the most touchdowns given up to tight ends at 5. We can't hold a 4th quarter lead to save the game. 2 weeks we lose with zeros on the clock and a field goal going through the uprights. Now, I remember in 2007 and 2011 when the Giants would get that 4th quarter lead because Eli could drive them down the field. I just felt giddy. I was like, all right, we won this game. I can't wait for the defense to get out there and just shut the door. But it's not happening. Defense got to get off the field. This is your chance to shine. All right, Brad Wing. What's going on, man? 2 brutal meltdowns in the 4th quarter. You got to get your head back in the game. I don't know what else to say. If it happens again, you're probably gone. All right, let's talk about McAdoo and Coach McAdoo. Why do we have him here? So, when under Jim Howell, we had Landry and we had Vince Lombardi. And Vince Lombardi, Landry was going to go, but Vince Lombardi, we had a contract where he would come back when Howell was going, if Howell couldn't come back. And I think this was 58 or 59 season. And the Giants, John Mara, to his credit, said, you know what? Stay in Green Bay because I know you're building something here. But the Giants suffered for over a decade after that. Then you look at under Parcells, we had Bill Belichick, Romeo Crennel, and Tom Coughlin, as well as many others that are disciples of Parcells that all scattered. And then all of a sudden, Bill Parcells says, you know what? I'm not healthy, so now you're going to have Ray Handley. And the Giants could have had Bill Belichick with Phil Simms, Rodney Hampton. We still had Otis Anderson, LT, Mark Bavaro. I mean, they had a team. It was a great team. And so, the Giants basically, we have McAdoo because the Giants didn't want to let him go because he was going to go to Philadelphia. What really scares me about McAdoo is that last week he didn't have the cojones to tell Odell Beckham that his antics were extreme and unacceptable. It took, the brass, the Mara, to come down and say, no, that's not acceptable. And then finally, he got the cojones to say, oh, you know what, we can't accept that. I'm not advocating for a change here. I'm just saying these are the things that scare me. He's not comfortable in his skin as he was last year. All right, let's look forward to the Week 5 against Chargers. So on offense, with Richburg out, we got Brett Jones gets the nod, unfortunately, because I'd love to see DJ Fluker in there. The Chargers can't stop. They can't stop the run. They're just like us. They're 31st in the league. We're 29th in run defense. I want to see a breakout game for Gallman, especially if we can get DJ Fluker in there and get some big holes. I'd like to see him get in the game more. And they're better on the pass D because they have great defensive ends with Melvin Ingram, who's got 5.5 sacks already, and Joey Bosa, who's got 2.5 sacks. They just harass quarterbacks. So Eli's footwork's going to have to be fancy again this week. Their tight end defense is actually worse than ours, as much of a tirade as I've gone on. So I'd love to see Ingram just kill it this week because he's just a mismatch for every team. And then our O-line's going to feature yet another configuration, which is, it's hard on them and it's also hard on Eli. On defense, their pass defense, our pass defense is 14th in the NFL. Eli gets picked on a lot. About the only thing the Chargers do well is pass. And, they actually been protecting Phillip Rivers very well in the pocket this year, almost better than anybody else in the league. I think it's 2.8% of his dropbacks is when he gets sacked, which is one of the best in the league. And so can the Giants figure out Keenan Allen and Phillip Rivers? And while they can't run, we can't seem to stop it. So their strategy is going to be just like ours. All right, guys. We'll see you at Harpo's. We're going to have at least one more giveaway this week. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. I'll be buying at least a round of pitchers. So I'll see you guys there. Cheers.